If you're someone who's been early extending in your golf swing or standing up, thrusting forwards towards the ball at impact, no matter how big or small, you know it's quite detrimental in terms of technique and consistency. Quite often we'll get some misstrikes in terms of thins, particularly with the irons, and as a result of, we're therefore going to lose distance. However, there may be a hidden reason that is contributing to this action, and it's not your actual golf swing technique. This is totally random, something you never ever will have thought of before and wonder what the hell it's even got to do with your golf swing. And it starts at the ankles. So there's an exercise in this video, really simple and easy, that could transform your downswing position and stop you early extending towards a golf ball. So this feels like a really random thing to be discussing in a gym environment. It's probably something we should really be talking about on the driving range. But this is a big physical component to the early extension, really annoying position. Now, in order for your body to hit a consistent shot, there are many moving parts, and those parts all work together. So if one of those parts isn't functioning as it should be, then there's a knock-on effect to the rest of the body. Think of like dominoes, you're going to flick one, and then there's a chain reaction onto everything else. So if we have a little look at the components of how your body works in terms of the golf swing really briefly and get a bit of context in terms of what the hell I'm actually talking about. If I'm going to set up down the line to you here, when I make my backswing, we've got lots of elements of rotation, lots of joints doing bits and bobs, and that kind of maintains my postural position here. And the same goes for the downswing. So as I was here and I start to take my lead hip away, drop into my downswing position, cover that golf ball, in order for my posture to be as it is, or hips, pelvis backwards and not thrust forwards towards the ball here, we have a chain reaction of events, and that starts down here at the ground. So our ankle joint here basically has a movement called dorsiflexion, where it slides forwards and allows the knee forwards and the pelvis to stay backwards. Pretty much the same motion that you get in a regular squat pattern. So as you drop down in a squat like this, you basically get the pelvis coming this way, the knees forwards. And keeping things really basic and easy to understand, that process happens by the ankles sliding forwards very slightly. What that does also is allow the hips to rotate. So a common fault for a lot of golfers who early extend or forwards thrust in some way towards the ball is a lack of ankle dorsiflexion. And in other words, what that looks like is this. Instead of me being able to stay down, rotate through posture with my butt back, as we said, what we get instead is this lifting up forwards position, coming onto the toes with the pelvis being thrusted forwards. And the reason for that is if the ankles aren't going to slide, the pelvis can't stay back. And everything in that chain in the middle, center of gravity gets shoved forwards. So what we're going to do here is an easy exercise to help create some dorsiflexion of the ankle. Don't worry about the fancy words. And that should help you maintain that pelvis position and posture throughout the golf swing. So we have the return of, yet again, the good old red band. Loads of people have been asking about the red band. It's 15 to 35 pounds in strength. That's basically the resistance of the band. You can type that into Amazon. You'll find loads of different brands and you can get them pretty much anywhere. So for this one, I've tied my band to the bottom of the squat rack. Nice and tight. You want a little bit of resistance in this, but not too much. Anything you've got at home, table, chair, whatever, you're not going to pull over. It'll do the job just fine. I've also taken my shoes off, and the reason for that is it'll give you a better connection and a better sensation and feeling of the ground underneath you. So obviously in a shoe, you've got a bit of a heel and a raise, and that will just blur the lines a little bit in terms of what you can feel underneath your foot. So down on one knee, place your foot in the band and just get it so it sits at the bottom of your leg and the top of your ankle, and there's sort of a little flat bone and it'll just sit on there naturally. And then all I'm going to do is just bring it forwards a tiny bit. Now, I'm on a little bit of a skew-width angle here just so you can see. But when you do this yourself, you would kind of be more in this position here. So you're in straight lines. If I just bring my foot round just so it's easier to see. The aim of the band here, basically, it's pulling me this way. I'm going to try and go that way. So we create a bit of resistance and essentially a distraction to the joint to allow it to just work effectively. So the aim of the game of this is to push your knee as far forwards as you can without lifting the heel off the ground and maintaining contact of the full foot. So the toes are nice and lengthened and flat. The big toe, the little toe, and the heel remain in contact with the floor the whole time. So if I pop my hands on my hip bones, all I'll do is literally just push this knee as far forwards as it goes, and it's not really going to go very far. Hold it for a few seconds and then come back out. So that feels a bit close to me, so I'm just going to shuffle my foot up slightly. So I'll push forwards as far as I can with this knee, and you'll feel some tightness here on the front of the ankle. Hold it for a few seconds, and then you're coming back off the movement. So the forwards push with the knee, hold for a few seconds. The band is taking me this way. I'm obviously working against the resistance of that band, trying to push forwards. Now, while you make this movement, another thing to try and consider is to try to flatten the instep of your foot, which sounds bonkers, as well as the ankle coming forwards. The foot ideally should flatten to the ground. That will help this movement here create this forwards motion. The two of those things have to work hand in hand. So in your head, as you push forwards, try to flatten your arch to the floor. Unless you've got really flat feet, it probably never will touch. It's just a feeling and a technique pointer to try and bear in mind when you do these reps. So all we're looking for, heel, toe, little toe contact, push forwards with the knee. In your head, imagine you're trying to flatten the instep towards the ground. 3-4 seconds hold, feel the stretch up the side of the calf and the Achilles, and a little pull on the front of the ankle as well. This video is sponsored by GX Golf Gloves, quality leather gloves worn by elite amateurs and tour professionals. Take a look on the website below and check them out. So give that exercise a go and see if it makes a difference to your downswing position. If this feels particularly stiff to do, as in you feel like there's not a lot of range of movement through the ankle and through the foot, it's probably something you'll want to practice on a consistent basis, particularly for 3, 4, maybe 5 weeks in a row, and see if it makes a difference. It can't harm. Early extension's really annoying, and anything that can improve that can only be a good thing. Thanks for watching this video and being on my channel with me. If this makes some sense to you, hit the thumbs up button for a like. Share this channel with your golfing mates, and I'll be back next time with a brand new topic.